Renzo, this is my favorite time of the year. Holidays are over. I don't mind that it's freezing, that it's snowing. I love this time of the year.
This time after the holiday? Oh, let me guess. Because the holidays are so stressful?
No, not really. I kind of enjoy the holidays.
Oh, then why is this your favorite time of the year now that all that festivity and, the time off is done?
Multiple reasons.
Okay.
One of them being the fact that you can stay home just chilling without feeling bad because it's beautiful out. It's usually horrible out, so you stay out.
So a good excuse to stay in your pajamas at
But that
home?
is, yes, but that is not the main reason. The main reason is like, to me, this is the beginning of movie season. And you know how much of a fan I
Oh,
am
you
of
are.
movies.
I always turn to you for recommendations on what's good to watch every year. So movie season, like award season, like the Oscars.
Good movie season. All the good movies are out now, and then the
Right.
Oscar nominations will come. So they're going to keep on playing them. So we can talk today about my caballos de batalla for the awards this year.
Caballo de batalla, literally the war horse or the battle horse.
But you
That's
know
the
the
phrase
meaning.
that we're using today for just a Spanish phrase, right?
And what is just a Spanish phrase?
Just a Spanish phrase is the companion podcast to News and Slow Spanish. In News and Slow Spanish, you can learn Spanish through current events. In Just a Spanish Phrase, we take those idiomatic expressions, those phrases that you can hear on our main show, and we dissect them. We look into the origin, the history, and just all the fun anecdotes about why these phrases become part of our language.
We talk about the history, but also ways to use them, ways to understand them. And yes, today's phrase is caballo de batalla.
Literally battle horse or war horse, right?
But what is the but
meaning?
it's not really, the meaning is not war. Like, you have another way to translate it in English.
Yes, that's why it's so interesting. So that's the literal translation, but the phrase that our listeners might be familiar with is somewhat also related to like military tradition or naval tradition. But anyway, it's flagship. The ship that carries the flag, also usually in the context of like naval battles. But instead of horse, in English, we talk about a ship, the flagship, meaning the reliable standard, the main thing, the most powerful or consistent tool or thing that you put forward to do something. So in this case, you're talking about film, right?
Yes, but you know how I learned the term flagship? Because as you guys can hear by my accent, English is not my native language.
Okay.
I learned English, and I actually learned the term flagship working here at News in Slow Spanish,
You don't
because
say.
we have programs for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced. We have series, we have all sorts of products, but our flagship is News in Slow Spanish, which was
Of
the
course.
program we started with.
That's right. So News in Slow Spanish is our flagship. It is the main production that started it all.
Our caballo de batalla.
Exactly.
Before we go into the origin of this expression, I needed to talk about movies because, again, this is my favorite season, movie time. I watched on a Friday movie called It Was Just an Accident. It won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Festival, and it's an Iranian movie that is chilling. I'm not gonna spoil, but I'm just gonna say that there's this guy working in his car repair shop, and suddenly he hears a way of walking very particular, and through that he realizes a client came in, and that client was the guy who tortured him when he was in prison.
Wow.
And that's the beginning. And then I'm not going to tell you what happens. But I love Iranian movies because they're usually very low budget, which means very good stories. The only way to keep the audience engaged with very low budget is to craft brilliant, entertaining,
attention grabbing?
Yes, attention grabbing stories. So I think that movie is my caballo de batalla for this year best foreign film.
So it's your chosen favorite, your chosen champion.
Yes.
Right?
So far, I still need to see Secret Agents. The Secret Agent.
So in the context of the film industry, another way to use caballo de batalla would be like, say, let's move away from independent film and small production houses or, individual auteurs. Think about big studios. They may have um, a caballo de batalla, a flagship for the summer, which is their big box office bet, right?
Yes, and that way they can produce smaller films. The same in the editorial industry. The editorial houses have like the very commercial books that pay the bills so they can publish the less commercial but little books that they like.
So like Transformers 5 or 6
God.
or 7 is the caballo de batalla during the summer months. And then come award season, that same studio can shift gears and have a different flagship or caballo de batalla with a film that is, prestige director, smaller budget, aiming for the awards, right?
Exactly. Like, for example, I'm guessing the flag. Let me see if you guess. And it might have to do with how you spend the holidays, because I think we all did. What do you think is the caballo de batalla of Netflix?
Oh, I think I know this because I have a young child at home. Is it K-pop Demon Hunters?
No, Stranger Things.
Oh, what?
Oh, wait. Maybe it's K-pop Demon Hunters. Okay, tell me about that.
K-pop Demon Hunters was a huge hit for Netflix. They're already talking about franchising it and sequels. It became the first animated film for Netflix to have a #1 chart-topping song.
And also, I think it was the most watched, but I think that was a surprise for them. I think their caballo de batalla was Stranger Things. They invested everything in that.
They invested so much money. That has like one of those Transformer 5 budgets.
Exactly. And then suddenly they bought this probably cheap Korean movie, and suddenly it became the most watched film on Netflix of all time.
So things things turn out in surprising ways. So speaking of finding un caballo de batalla where you weren't expecting it, let's look at the origin of this phrase. Like I said, flagship also has its connections to military tradition, or naval in this case. Caballo de batalla is the same idea. In the history of war, cavalry, the introduction of horses for waging war, was a revolutionary technology. And we're talking thousands of years ago. But in the Middle Ages, we started seeing specialization. So you started seeing a lot of breeding programs and efforts to make horses that were specifically for given tasks, like faster horses for scouts, to do messaging, and then really strong, huge, powerful horses to carry or pull a chariot, or to be the horse that a captain of the cavalry might ride into battle.
That is fascinating. So there's not one kind of horse. You have different kinds of horses.
Exactly. But you invest a lot, just like the films that we're talking about, whether it's little budgets, but all your blood, sweat, and tears, or huge budgets, and then it's, huge budgets. You invest a lot of resources into this caballo de batalla, hoping to get the best possible result. So that's where that comes from in our cavalry military tradition. And of course, then the phrase became to mean anything that, just like that prized horse, you invest a lot of time and resources into to get the best possible result.
I love it. And that ties to a recent episode where we talk about New Year's resolutions.
Oh.
So
I guess,
are you gonna what is your caballo de batalla? What is the resolution? You're investing a lot.
And with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of Just a Spanish Phrase. And maybe in our next episode, we can talk more about New Year's resolutions and disappointments, okay?
Saved by the bell. You ran out of time. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.